What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the CrabNet Show. On tonight's episode, we'll be chatting about Leeds United. Yes, they're back in the English Premier League. We'll take a trip down memory lane and recall some of Leeds' best moments in the Premier League. Our second segment talks to the newly crowned English Premier League champions, my boys, Liverpool. What has made them the great success they have been over the last two seasons, specifically some of the key players that have shone over the last 2 years. And lastly, a new segment on the show where we talk trivia, and with the UEFA Champions League just a few weeks away, we'll be introducing a trivia game show with our guests around the UEFA Champions League in the modern day era. But thanks again for joining us on the sixth episode of the CrabNet Show. And once again, we're joined by a full house of our resident analysts. Welcoming back our boys, starting with Gur. Gur, welcome back.
Hello guys, how's it?
Hey, how's it? Good to hear your voice again. And our homeboy Shay. Shay is back with us. How's it going, Shay?
Hey guys, good to be back.
Shot Shay, welcome back. And lastly, our main man, Kylo. Kai, how's it going?
How's it, boys? Good to be back.
Shot Kai, always appreciate you giving us your opinions on the show. And yes, boys, we've got no guests this evening, so we're going to bring it fresh from the streets of South Africa, as we always do. We're recording on Thursday, the 23rd of July, one night after Liverpool raised the English Premier League trophy at the Kop end. And that'll be our second segment for the day. But importantly, another trophy was raised yesterday evening, that being the Championship trophy by Leeds United. And that'll be our first segment for the evening. Leeds United promoted back to the English Premier League after winning the championship with a brilliant season. And maybe to start off with Shay, to bring you into this conversation, Leeds United, Shay, I know back in the day you had a very fond affection with this team. They had many memorable moments in the Premier League. After 16 years, they're back where I think they belong. What's your thoughts on Leeds gaining promotion back to the Premier League next season, Shay?
I am so excited to see this team back in the Premier League. I can't believe it's been almost 2 decades. It's been way too long. I think for all these years that they've been away, I've been checking the championship regularly to see if they are coming back. And then suddenly you realize that they've already slipped down to, I think it was the second or third tier of English football, which is a bit scary because you wondered if they'd ever be back. But finally it's happening. Like you said, so many fond memories of that team. From all the teams that have been relegated, I think Leeds were definitely the biggest to ever have gone down, having made that Champions League qualification at one stage. I think they reached the semi-finals in 2001.
Yeah, we can't forget that one.
Yeah, they had some big wins there. They were in a bit of a tough group. I think they managed to scrape a win against AC, and I think they had a win against Lazio and Deportivo. So, it's going to be really exciting to see them back. Obviously, some of the great names going down memory lane. We remember Alan Smith and his classy finishes and great goals that he used to put in.
Remember him?
Of course, you have to start off with him.
Old Trafford.
Yeah, but another fun favorite was obviously Harry Kewell.
Yeah.
He went to Liverpool the season before he was relegated, I think. And then they had the big guy up front, Mark Viduka.
Yeah, the big Aussie.
Yeah, the big Aussie, Jonathan Woodgate. In goals, they had Paul Robinson. I think in one of the stadiums, they actually had, it was a dome. I can't remember which stadium it was.
Yeah.
But in one of the matches, Robinson actually tried intentionally to hit the top of the dome with one of his drop kicks. And I think he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good memory to have. Obviously, we all remember Lucas Radebe being the captain of that team.
Of course, yes. And I think Lucas has been a main reason why many of us South Africans fell in love with Leeds as our second team. Maybe to pull Gur into that conversation. Gur, Lucas Radebe, our famous captain of Bafana. What's your memories with Lucas in the white shirts of Leeds United?
It's like, just thinking about it takes me back to most of my childhood and how much football was. we're playing on the streets with our crab nets.
Yeah.
We went to watch World Cup games, Confed Cup, and then I think maybe he's our first international player that we have.
Yeah, one of the few post-apartheid that went to Europe and made a success of it.
Sure, I mean, yeah, Pina and
Quinton
Fish.
Fortune, yeah. Mark
Fish.
Fish, of course.
But it wasn't Radive the first.
I'm not too sure. Could be, but I know for sure
Yeah.
he made the biggest impact out there.
Yeah, definitely captaining the squad. He did.
And Gur, maybe
So
to just talk to some of the famous names that Shay mentioned. The likes of Eric Huell and Alan Smith ended up playing for Liverpool and United respectively. So Leeds showed that it was a stomping ground for talent in the early days, and even after relegation, those players came back into the scene. What's your memories from the old days of Eric Huell, Alan Smith, Mark Viduka? Do you have one memory that stands out from the days at Ellen Road?
Yo, man, not really. I think I was a bit too young to be remembering such things. I can say Ferdinand days.
Rio started his
Those are good
career out
days.
there.
Yeah.
Another big name.
He was a record signing, I think, and even a record transfer, £30 million to United.
He was. Maybe to put Kai into the conversation, Kai, Ellen Road was a fortress back in the day. We spoke about the Champions League semi-final that Leeds United took to the European stage as well. What's your memories from back then and Leeds taking on Europe? Kai?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also with Saga on this one. I don't have many memories of Leeds, just besides the fact that they always had this voodoo against Arsenal. I mean, every time we played them, we would lose, So I think that's one of the things that sticks out for me. But I think just going back to what you guys were talking about in terms of players, you spoke about Rio Ferdinand. That was one of the greats for me that came out of that team. But you must also remember Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Eric Cantona.
Of course, Cantona, yes.
Cantona, back in the early 90s.
Robbie Keane,
Yes.
Robbie Fowler.
Let's not forget James Milner.
Oh,
James
yes, still
Milner,
playing,
yeah.
yes. Winning the trophy all these years later.
Yep. So some real stars made their name at Ellen Road under the Yorkshire club. Looking into the future for Leeds, Shay, what's your thoughts on their current squad? You mentioned you've been following them. They've got a manager in Besla that is really making a lot of headlines for all the right reasons. What's your thoughts on the impact they'll have next season in the Premier League?
So I don't expect them to exactly pull a Leicester City and just come in and start dominating the Premier League immediately, but I do expect them after all these years to stay up, to fight to stay there, try to hopefully finish mid-table. They've got a couple of names in there. I don't know if you guys remember after Iker Casillas left Real Madrid, they replaced him with a younger goalkeeper at the time, Kiko Casilla. He's in goals for Leeds at the moment. Yeah, and then they've got this guy up front, Bamford, I think his name is.
Patrick Bamford,
Yeah, he's been banging in the goals this season. He's been the key man in the front. He's got 20 plus goals, maybe 25 or so. And then they got a playmaker, a Spanish guy in the midfield as well. His name is Hernandez. Bit of an older guy. I don't know if he'll stick around too long in the Premier League, but he's been killing it with goals and assists as well. So for me, those are the key players that I can see standing out. Yeah.
But right this year, Hernandez is one to watch. Also been hearing good things about him.
Yeah, but you mentioned, Shay, you mentioned that they might not pull a Leicester, but there's some potential that they might. And Kurt, to pull you in here, just a few days ago, there was rumors that with the promotion, Leicester might be looking to spend some money, and the likes of Zlatan came up in the conversation. I don't know if you mess up with that rumor.
First of all, this, but
Zlatan came into the conversation, as well as Edison Cavani. So
is he buying less
Hey,
to get a
that's it.
transfer?
So
Yeah.
it's very possible that Leeds could take the Premier League
Double.
by storm because they've got money behind them. They've got a great
Yeah.
manager
And they
in
were not
Marcelo
far off
Bielsa,
this season, man.
for sure.
I
So I
mean,
want to get your thoughts on Zlatan coming to Leicester, and Kai, when Gur is done, you can give me your thoughts on Edison Cavani. But starting off with Gur, Zlatan at Leeds United.
You said Leicester just now. It's Leeds.
yeah. Is it Leicester?
Sorry, my bad. Leeds, yes, Leeds. We're talking about Leeds,
What?
boys.
Zlatan to Leeds?
Yeah, that would be
Zlatan
crazy.
to
seriously?
Leeds.
Crazy.
Zlatan to Leeds. Sorry, my
lovely.
mistake. My mistake,
I'm still
listeners as
supportive.
well.
I love Leeds, bro. I love Leeds.
So
Even
can you
though
see
there used
Zlatan
to be
in
this
Leeds?
rivalry back in the days, but they were top team, bro. They're like the Bullies, like the Bullies teams. All the Bullies teams. So it runs off on you.
Kai, Cavani in Leeds, is that something that you potentially see as happening? Can he fit into the Premier League?
Yeah, Cavani, he's been linked with the big moves to the Premier League for years now. You guys were linked with him at Liverpool, United at one stage, Chelsea, also Arsenal. He's a big player. He's done a lot for club and country. I don't see him in that Leeds shirt, man.
Why not?
I think he's too much of a big player to be in that squad.
Yeah, I just want him I don't care who he plays for. I just want him in the Premier League. Even Zlatan, I want him back. Bring them back.
Yeah, but it's sentimental, man. At the end of the day, Cavani could fit into the Chelsea side right now.
Yeah, and probably win titles. Yeah,
and even into the United side, he could walk into that side at this stage.
Or he could end up at Leeds. Could end up at Leeds and have a cracker season. Who knows? It would be good to see him.
So for me, as much as it's sentimental, it would look nice for Leeds to make these high-profile signings. I don't see that happening.
It might just be proving you wrong, guys, but I think all of us agree the Premier League is going to be so much more exciting with Leeds United back, and a manager like Marcelo Bielsa is just going to make it another spectacle.
I hope they get the Strongbow sponsor back.
I'm
old enough to finally drink the beer.
But Leeds, welcome back, and looking forward to having you in the Premier League. Leeds United champions of the Championship and in the Premier League next season. Moving on to the next segments, guys. The other champions, the other trophy that got lifted, just a matter of 30 years later, but Liverpool and Jordan Henderson managed to get his hands on that first English Premier League title in 30 years just last night. And we couldn't not talk about the brilliant season that they've had, but the consistency that they've shown over the last 2 years to bring this title. And I know we touched on it in the very first episode of the Crab Net, but after getting their hands on the silverware, we had to bring it back. And starting with Kai, yesterday they brought up that title parade with another 5-3 victory, 5-3 against Chelsea. But it just displayed the talent on show at Anfield. The likes of Trent shining again. From a player perspective, who do you think has made the biggest impact on Liverpool's title success this season? Kai?
Yeah, for me, we always talk about the Salahs and the Manes, and even Firmino to the extent he's been given a lot of credit recently. But you have to, for me, look at that Liverpool backline. The likes of Trent and Robinson, what they've done just to even get goals in, assists in. Trent had one of the highest amount of assists in the league, I think, this season.
Game changer.
And vital goals and vital assists. So it just brings that into the fold. And then obviously we're going to have to speak about Van Dijk. Without that signing, I think Liverpool would have still been fighting for the title, not ever winning it. He was that final piece of the puzzle in what Klopp was trying to do, and it's testament to what has happened now with this title-winning side.
Yeah, that defense has been the bedrock for the success. But we mentioned it a few weeks ago. It all started maybe 4 years ago in Klopp's first full season, and Shay, to bring you into this conversation. Klopp changed the mindset and the mentality of the boys at Anfield, labeling them mentality monsters. As a footballer yourself, that consistency is so difficult to get, but over a period of 2 seasons, they've managed to get 97 points last season and currently 96 points in the title-winning season with still a game to go. What has made them so consistent over the last 2 years under Jurgen Klopp?
You mentioned that mindset. Something about football, when a big player steps into a team that he doesn't know, or the players that around him don't really know him too well, they're not going to give him the ball as comfortably as they normally would and expect him to do what he does. And with Liverpool, they all have absolute faith in each other. It doesn't matter who's open and in what position they're in. As long as the pass is on, they will make the pass. But there's always that occasion when you're playing mostly amateur football where you look at the person that you're about to pass to and you think, I'm better off passing to someone else, and you usually end up losing the ball. With Liverpool, they believe in each other. They have this one mind where together they're like this one big consciousness on the field where they just trust each other and they know that despite who has the ball, they're going to move forward together and stick to the game plan. And I think it's that self-belief that Klopp has instilled in the team that's got them the title, that's got them the Champions League, and it's put them where they are right now. They obviously started the season off knowing that they will win the league. Not they want to win the league, they need to win the league.
Yeah,
they
that
will
mindset.
Win the league. Yeah. And we've seen Ferguson do it in the past. We've seen Wenger do it. We've seen Pep do it. I think in the league at the moment, the only two managers that kind of have that influence where they have this kind of camaraderie around the squad is Pep and Klopp. And I'm also seeing it a lot now with Arteta, I must say. I'm quite impressed with
a short period
with
of
the way he's
time.
handling his players. Yeah. So I know it started off with that unfortunate Stevie G slip and Jemba Ba slotting in, and they lost the title that day when the commentator was like, they've got one hand on the title. They're almost there.
Put the mockers on it.
Yeah, and then like Kai said, bringing in Virgil van Dijk, he was the missing piece. That Coutinho sell, I mean, that was a big move for them to have done at the time. Obviously, they changed the game with their wing backs with Robertson and Arnold, and obviously down the middle they've got Firmino, Salah, and Mane. And Firmino's role is not to score goals. His role is to bring Salah and Mane into the game, and he does get his goals. I mean, we saw that brilliant through ball from Trent yesterday. That was just like a metaphor for how brilliant Liverpool are this season. It's like everything just came together.
Yeah, but there's one thing.
I think
Kai, you want to say something there?
So I want to actually say, I mean, this Liverpool is well drilled. They know their jobs. I mean, you know, I laugh about Henderson and how shit I think he is. But at the end of the day, he does a job for Liverpool. You know, he might not have the skill of Salah and the guile of the other players, but they all work cohesively together to get the job done, and that's to score goals and shut it out. And that's what Liverpool does.
I think you mentioned something, and I'll bring Gur into this conversation. They're well drilled, and I think it's not just football, but any sports that you play competitively. For you to be successful on the big stage and on match day, you need to be consistently pushing yourself in training and behind the scenes. So Gur, as a guy who's been involved in not just football but sports across the board, where you've put lots of effort into the training side of things, whether it was combat sports, preparing for big days on a battlefield. What type of effort is required on the training field to get success on the big stage, Gur?
I think what we see is just the 10% of the effort for that week of preparation, or a few days even. Training is everything. Training is what makes, and I mean, playing together, training together, learning each other's playing styles, very important. You can see a team that trains together when you watch Liverpool playing together.
And I guess Klopp mentioned it yesterday, and he showed so much of admiration to the likes of Adam Lallana and Curtis Jones, who haven't featured heavily on the match days, but he wanted to mention their effort in training, and that's what I think has brought the consistency for Liverpool and Klopp over the last 2 years. It's that consistent need to be greedy in their road to success. Touching on the Champions League victory last year, Kai, um, getting that trophy and getting past the failure of the 97 points by Pep's boys, what type of impact did winning the Champions League have on them being successful this year in the league, Kai?
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what you were saying now about, the preparation of that side and everything. I mean, in the beginning, what Klopp labeled his playing style, what, heavy metal or something of that sort.
Yeah.
And, it was high pressing, intensive playing. And in that first season, they couldn't sustain it. And it was just by sheer practice and sheer consistency of doing this that they, got to the levels that they managed to get. And then that's on a physical level. And then the second part of it is the mental level. So, you mentioned them missing out on the league title and then obviously winning the Champions League after that. We all know Liverpool wanted to win that league title. The Champions League, you guys have won it so many times. You even got one of those cups in the trophy cabinet. It's actually that.
You said we.
You guys. Never.
Like Ghana is never going to say we to the Reds.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that would definitely have had a big mental impact on the team. But it's just how Klopp has prepared the team physically and mentally that allowed them to withstand that storm and go on to win the Champions League. And it's testament to what he's brought to that Liverpool side. I mean, we all know they were just as mentally feeble as Arsenal are and were, and the rest of the teams actually that are now in struggling for top four and all of those things. He's brought something to that Liverpool side that hasn't been around for a long time.
Yeah. And I mean, you struggle to see where they can improve. And Gurv, maybe to pull you in here, where do you think Liverpool currently have a little bit of a deficiency that Klopp and his team can maybe improve in the coming season? They've got 97 points and 96 points already, as I mentioned. There's not many flaws that's clearly evident in this team, but where do you see that he can maybe take this Liverpool team up a level next season, Gurv?
Look, the two best players, Trent and Robertson, I think when they are not playing well, you see it in the whole team's performance. I feel like they literally are the left and the right carrying the shoulders of the team.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from Mane, Salah, Firmino, great players, but having backups for those wings, players that you can identify. I mean, we're looking at lighties that are. I mean, Trent is a lighty himself, but I mean, their replacements are looking at 18-year-olds or academy players coming up to have another name to just rotate that like an interchangeable winger.
I actually think that is the deficiency. Knowing that those guys are so great, can Liverpool keep those
injury
guys?
can damage the Liverpool season.
That's true.
Yeah.
That first 11 doesn't have a lot of backup on the bench. So, Jürgen, if you're listening, our homeboy girl says you need to spend some money in the transfer market. But maybe to close out this segment with Shay, something that maybe is overlooked is what this victory brings for the people, the Scousers in Merseyside. And maybe you don't remember it, but I can still recall back in the day when Manning Rangers took the first Premier League PSL in 1995 in the inaugural season. My dad and everyone in the district was just super happy, and we felt the emotion of our hometown team taking victory. What do you think the Scousers are feeling, the Red Scousers are feeling after 30 years of waiting for this victory, Shay?
I can tell you from first-hand experience right now that they are on top of the world. So I was fortunate enough to be in the UK on the day that Liverpool won the league. And I was watching with a friend, and he's a Liverpool supporter, and it was pouring rain outside. It was pissing.
Yeah.
And they won the league, and it was inevitable. We all knew they were going to win the league. It was only a matter of time. during lockdown, during this whole COVID situation, people were on the streets, people were screaming, people were drunk, people were going crazy. They are loving it. They have been waiting for this for 3 decades. Some of them their entire lives. They didn't even see it back in the 80s when Liverpool won the first league. They've just heard the stories from their fathers and their uncles and friends and whoever else. And up until now, I'm pretty sure the celebrations have just been going on and on and on. There's merchandise, there's a ton of merchandise, there's just so much love for this team that it's crazy. I mean, we've seen the glory from Man United over the years, and it became a bit complacent after time where it became expected of them because of the amount of titles they won, and now it's hurting. Now it's really hurting. United supporters and Liverpool supporters are loving it. This, for Merseyside, is great. I can only imagine how Everton is dying inside right now. But the Liverpool fans, this is their moment. This is their time for joy. This means everything to them. If ever there's a big football fan base in the world, it is either in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Liverpool, or in Manchester. And this is Liverpool's time. It's their time to shine. They've been waiting for years, and big ups to them.
Sure.
Congrats.
Enjoy it. It's a good thing to get used to.
Yeah. And Scousers in Merseyside, from a fellow Scouser in South Africa. I enjoy this moment. I know I did last night. Well done to the Red Men of Liverpool. Well-deserved title victory, and looking forward to enjoying this and rubbing it in all the faces of United and Arsenal fans for at least the next 10 months.
I just said such nice things to you now. You go and follow it up.
You see, and this is the reason why. Shane, this is the reason why I always hold back congratulating these guys, because as soon as you say it, they're gonna fucking take it to heart.
I admire your stats, Kai. I admire your stats. I need to take a few lessons from you, Kai. Oh, you were just I'm sure you were just messing.
I'm one of the most humble Liverpool supporters out there, but I love putting it in your faces every now and then. But
be a fan of football. Support your team, but support football.
But congrats to LFC.
Congrats, Liverpool.
Yeah, well done, guys.
So moving on to the next segment, boys, something exciting for us to look forward to the Champions League in the next few weeks. Brought down to a tournament rules, but looking back, there's been lots of exciting Champions League moments and stats going on. And this segment is actually going to be a trivia segment, something different for the show. Very interactive with all of you. So something new. Let's hope you've got your knowledge on point. Let's see if the streets have brought you some informed opinions over the years. So
exams.
starting from the top being Gur this time around. Gur, first question on the UCL. Who's the only club to twice go unbeaten in a UEFA Champions League season? Come on.
He's answered Madrid.
Madrid.
I said Madrid.
Nice one. Correct. Well done. Proud of you. So Madrid has actually taken the title quite recently, 3 times in a row, and 2 of those times they won it undefeated. So good one, girl. Nice one.
Shot.
The girls in the lead, guys. Who's gonna take the next
competition.
one? Let's keep it fair.
I thought I didn't even press the
we're all in
button.
the same team.
No. We're asking questions.
I was going to copy yours.
Come on.
Okay, next one. Next one up. Let's go for Kai this time. Kai, which European side has won the most UEFA Champions League and European Cup titles? Liverpool. This is a tough one. Liverpool? Beep. Incorrect. Madrid. The answer is actually Benfica.
Are you going to ask questions like that?
Okay, here's one for you, Shane.
Here's one
for you. Which British player has the most UEFA Champions League appearances?
Zidane.
British player.
Oh, British.
Champions League appearances.
Come on, you can't get this one wrong.
Has to be Ryan Giggs.
Correcto. Well done, boy.
Shots.
Next one up, girl. Which player has the most UEFA Champions League assists? I'll give you a hint.
Ever, like all time.
He is related to the team who you answered correctly in the first round.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
Ronaldo.
Come on, TikTok. Give us the answer, girl.
Zidane.
Nope. It's our boy Gareth Bale, who's sitting and earning a
What?
shitload of money by
What?
doing nothing. Gareth Bale.
What? No.
Gareth
Bale.
Bale has the most UEFA Champions League assists. Can you believe that?
No
Ah,
way.
That's how
that's crazy.
successful he's been. Maybe to put a hold on the game for a while and talk about Gareth Bale.
Are you talking about finals
Joke.
though? No, Raj, are you talking about finals or
Like a joke.
in total tournament?
In total
Champions League,
tournaments.
all the.
But let's
Yeah, I
talk
don't
about
believe that
Gareth
one.
Bale.
Hey, he's a playmaker, Kai. He is.
Let's
His quality,
talk
we
about
know that.
Gareth Bale.
Look at, he's only been
Wait,
playing in the
the
Champions
game
League
is
when he went
over.
to Madrid.
Yeah,
Let's-
that's what I was thinking too.
Let's talk about Bale. Bale
What's it,
is
3 seasons?
sitting on the bench at Real Madrid for almost the entire season. His main reason for being on the bench is because Zidane just does not favor him.
Can't speak Spanish, bro. That's his problem.
Good.
Yeah, but Welsh is almost like Spanish.
Tell us what's your
beer.
what's your
Let's
thoughts?
drink a beer and it sounds like.
Why is Gareth Bale not in Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid team? Good.
I don't know, This is a hard one. Why is he? He's a great player.
This is not a trivia question, by the way. This is just you giving us your opinion.
Bigger than much. I don't think that you can. Unless you were in his mind. I can't figure it. Maybe they just don't get along.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Mourinho Pogba thing.
That could be the only reason. I mean, he's shown.
I
over
got
the
two
years
reasons
he's
for
the
this
challenge.
one.
I got many running through my mind right now.
Let's hear it.
So-
Let's hear it. Kai first.
For me, the first one is a cultural thing that Shane was alluding to just now with language. He's brought up a lot of youth players in that Madrid side, and he just doesn't want to bring in a guy that doesn't know Madrid. He came in big money signing, doesn't know the club. He's always been in the shadow of Ronaldo previously, and there's big players there. You know?
Spot on.
And as Zidane, he doesn't give notice to a British player coming from a shitty club like Spurs, And then I think the second one is that Gareth Bale is just unfortunate with his injuries. He can never ever get a good run of fixtures where he can show his worth. I mean, I know he's a brilliant player. I've always liked him, even back in the day when I was playing FIFA and he was a left back and I would put him left wing and centre forward type of thing. He's got the attribute, but he never ever allows himself to get a good run of fixtures to show that he's one of the greatest in the world.
Very, very good reasons, but I think one of the ones that none of you touched on is.
You haven't given me a chance yet.
And I'm getting to you, Shay. Tell me what do you think of the fact that Bale is. Why you think he's on the bench under Zidane, but also why he is content with being on the bench and not looking to get a move away. Shay.
Big bucks, 3 Champions League medals. Content on the bench. He's got an attitude problem. We all know that. He has a big attitude problem in terms of.
Did you see him how he put the mask over his eyes in the
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just his body language. His salary is earning thick compared to what he was earning in Spurs, obviously.
Yeah,
the thing,
play in Madrid.
yeah, the part that Kai mentioned about being in Ronaldo's shadows definitely plays a huge factor in it. He would have been the out-and-out goal scorer at the time he came there, if the game was all about him, if it was built around him. But obviously the game plan was to feed Ronaldo, let him score.
Also.
Yeah, okay. The other thing about him also is, there's nowhere to go. And the other thing is that if you're a Welshman, a Scotsman, or an Irishman, you want to stick to one club. If you're playing for a big club, you want to stay there for your entire career. We've seen it in the past, and it's very difficult for an Englishman. Okay, he's Welsh, but is he Welsh? Yeah, he is Welsh, right?
Yeah, he's Welsh, of course.
Yeah, it's difficult for any British player to go across to Spain. We've seen a few success stories like Owen and Beckham, obviously.
That wasn't a success story. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
you can say not a success story, but he was playing along.
He was successful in moving across.
Yeah, he was part of that Galacticos era. So I mean, he had a great career. according
Let's
to
not
him.
forget Steve McManaman, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't just
Where
throw your
did
Liverpool legends in
Teddy
it.
Sheringham also go there? No.
No, no.
Was he
Nah, I don't
also?
think so.
No.
But Shay,
I
you
don't
were
think so.
saying?
Yeah, Bale. Like I saw the one time he was Madrid were out winning the Champions League or playing Champions League qualification or match or something of the sort, and he was out playing golf and he's posting that on social media. I mean, what's the rest of his players going to think about him? And especially when he doesn't speak their language, he can't
Yeah.
communicate with them properly. And that part about the international scene, he doesn't have a chance to shine for his country. The only thing he has is Real Madrid right now, and in that team, he's like Minamino in Liverpool right now. He's an outsider. He's not feeling that comfortable where he is right now. And I think for him to stay on the bench would be the best place for him because he's earning his paycheck. He's living the life. He's winning 3 Champions League medals and winning La Liga titles, but doing absolutely nothing, which
Yeah,
is
he's
very
running.
sad for football. But he's a brilliant player. I really hope to see him back in the Premier League
Yeah,
someday.
He definitely is wasting a shitload of talent that he's got in that left foot, especially. But Madrid are still showing success without him, and they've won the La Liga. In just a few weeks, they have a chance to get back into the Champions League and overcome a Man City team that's is also showing a few jitters here and there. Do you guys have any view on Real Madrid taking the Champions League this season? Let's go around the table to close off the Champions League discussion. Who do you think is taking the Champions League this season, guys? Starting with Shay.
What is their current results at the moment?
They are 2-1 behind against City.
Manchester City, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's two
Did
away
they play
goals to
away
City.
though?
that's two
Yeah.
away goals.
Right?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
never ever write off Real Madrid. Don't ever write them off. And they're playing against a City team who's never won it before. Madrid have 12 titles to their name. They are experienced in this competition. They've been there before, done that before. I wouldn't write them off. I really think they can go through. But having said that, it's still very early. It's still the round of 16. There's still a long way to go, and they've proved it in the past. Yeah, but one thing I know Zidane will be hungry to do is win the Champions League without Ronaldo. He will want to win the Champions League without Ronaldo. He came back out. I mean, you know, he's a man who quits in style. He goes and quits the Champions League in style. He goes and quits after being the first manager in history to win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. And now he's back. He comes, he wins La Liga, and he'll be hungry for this Champions League. So whether it be this year, next year, or later on in his career, if he stays in Madrid, he's going to win it. But this season, don't write them off. I know Man City wants it, and you're saying it's a Pep Man City, but Real Madrid are Real Madrid. Don't write them off.
So Real Madrid still within the chance there. Gur, what's your thoughts? Does Madrid have a chance against City in the Champions League? And if they do, can they go on and lift another Champions League title under Zidane?
Yes.
That's a full
I'll
stop
put my
at
money
there.
and my heart. My money and my heart behind this. Let's say yes. This is their thing. This is like Arsenal's FA Cup thing. This is
Because you're out,
in the
huh?
Champions League. Okay, so good things that Madrid can take this as well, making up a deficit.
Correction,
against,
they have
City.
13. Sorry, I'm losing count. They have 13, not 12.
So many
My bad.
there. And Kai, what's your thoughts on Madrid getting past City and taking another 14th Champions League title?
PSG are still there, right?
PSG are still there, yes.
I don't know why we're not counting those guys. I mean, they've won the league, right?
Yeah,
They've still got
but-
brilliant. Wait,
It's
Shane,
the only
they've got
ones.
brilliant players there, and they've had a rest.
Yep.
Fair,
They've
true.
been resting for this. They've been having their eye on this. They obviously didn't expect for Champions League to get back on track. And as much as I'm a Madrid fan, we can't count out PSG.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, those
Don't
guys
write
are
them off. Don't write City off too. But together they've won 0. So, I mean, at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
exactly. So this is
experience.
the perfect time in COVID season where
That's
Liverpool
true.
won the
This
Corona
is true.
Cup.
You
This is the
make a
time
very
where
good point there.
shitty clubs can win titles.
Very good point there. PSG and City have to win it at some point.
Yeah.
So Kai is going for PSG and not Madrid. So let's wait and see. There's still some big names left there, the likes of Barca, Bayern, Juve with Ronaldo. So Madrid's still in with a chance at the Champions League glory. But thanks for the trivia, boys, getting us into Champions League talk, and maybe we'll dedicate a show in the next episode to analyzing each of these remaining teams in the Champions League to find out who's got the best chance of taking Champions League glory in the knockout stage, single game play in Portugal, Lisbon. Thanks again for another good show, boys. Hope you enjoyed it. Shay, Kai, and Gur.
Shot, Raj.
Thanks,
Really
Raj.
enjoyed this one.
Cheers, bye.
So the game's over.
Yeah, man.
How you can
It
ask
was-
Kyler the Benfica question like that?
I threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dirty bastard.
But
But
something
But I
fun
don't,
to-
I don't believe that Bale won, man.
Yeah, it's
Day
a
one
shocker.
was finals.
Yeah, you see.
Oh,
I
it's
knew
finals. All right.
It was.
It can never be fucking. He only played in 2-3 seasons there, man.
Yeah. There is something fun to bring into the conversation, and we hope you enjoyed it out there, listeners. Something different. Just listening to us talking about shit at the end, but we know it's always good, informed conversations as we always bring it here on the Crab Net. We hope you enjoyed this 6th episode, and give us a shout out on social media if you want to be part of this conversations. If you have any comments on some of the strong opinions by the resident analysts, we're always up for debates, and maybe we'll bring up a debate segment soon. But catch you again soon on another episode of the Crab Show. Over and out.